Hey,
Are we recording?
this is
No.
it. We're
No.
recording. This is
Nope.
real now.
Is it real?
Welcome to the Talkies.
Welcome to Talkies.
Thanks,
Three
man.
three talkies talking about movies. Three movies talking about filmmakers.
That's yeah.
3 movies talking about filmmakers. 3 movies talking about cinema.
All right.
Our
Three cinemas
reviews
talking about
Our reviews are going to progressively come more and more unhinged as the quarantine marches on.
So,
I don't know. We've already gotten pretty unhinged under completely normal
regular
circumstances.
I'd say these are probably the more grounded days.
Yes, very grounded. Speaking of grounded, Honey Boy.
It's a grounded movie.
That is a grounded movie. That's a movie we just watched.
So that's the movie we're talking about today. Honey Boy.
Did you guys watch it?
Yes, we did.
Oh no, I didn't watch it. I'm just
But
gonna.
you can still talk about it.
Okay.
Quasi autobiographical.
Yeah.
But not fully autobiographical film that's more or less about Shia LaBeouf's experience.
More or less.
Yeah, well, he won't clarify that.
He won't clarify which one.
No, yeah, he has said, that
he actually won't.
Yeah. In a Q&A, he said that he didn't want to say which parts were direct lifts from his childhood and which parts were, creative writing, but that it was all choices that were made were meant to reflect a tone of what his memories were, even if they weren't true
Roma.
to what actually happened.
Well, I definitely got a tone from this.
Oh yeah.
This is tone heavy. I'm just gonna go right off say it. I really like this movie.
I really like this movie.
I liked some of it.
Oh, all right. Oh,
Yeah,
I liked some of it. I liked the idea of it.
yeah.
What does that mean?
I thought it was kind of. I got a little meh vibe.
Really?
At the end, yeah. I got a little meh. Yeah.
Not so much me. I've thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really, really well directed, and I liked the three main performances a lot. Really did.
I really
I
did
also
too.
liked all the performances. Yeah.
And I thought it was really heartbreaking, very sad.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, and felt real.
Well, I'm
Felt real to me, Taylor. It was real to me.
I'm curious.
I don't think this was real.
I'm curious, Taylor, about what parts you didn't.
What do you
like,
think this was, like a movie?
What parts threw you off?
I thought it was I got a little bored in the second half. I felt like I actually had an issue with the directing specifically, where I felt that this director, I looked her up, she's a music video director, and I can tell.
Yeah,
Like,
I had a music video director vibe. I could see that a bit.
Music videos? I got documentaries from her.
I got music video for sure. I felt like a lot of it was...
No. I mean her actual history.
Oh, really?
Her IMDb page, yeah.
Good thing I have Google open right now.
Until I started watching the movie, I had always heard this was directed by Shia, and so that actually took me by surprise because I thought he directed it.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't know he wrote it. I thought that was incredible writing.
It's great writing. It's very good writing.
Yeah, she's a music video director known for her documentary Bombay Beach.
Bombay Beach?
Yeah.
Did she just come out with a movie that had or a documentary that was about the election?
I don't know.
What is her name?
Alma something.
Yeah, Alma something.
Election documentaries. Boring.
The trailer actually looked pretty cool.
Well, I felt that a lot of the stuff was... I thought it felt like a photo shoot. A lot of it felt like a photo shoot to me, where it was posed.
I could see that.
Things were posed. I didn't like that too much.
I felt like it was all posed totally, but I felt like it was like intentional. It was like we were watching like a puppet show, it was like Shia LaBeouf was like, "Hey, I'm going to tell you about my childhood using all these little puppets and make them dance in front of you," and seeing it like from that point of view where you really felt the presence of a third level storyteller without there actually being like a narrator or anything like that. I felt like someone else was telling us a story through these visuals. And
that's a cool idea.
That actually worked for me.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. Yeah. It just felt like a art film, student art film.
I definitely got
sucks.
indie
vibes. That's a terrible thing to say, Taylor.
Yeah.
I definitely got indie vibes from it. I felt like there were some of those scenes. I love
indie vibes.
I don't like indie vibes. I love the production value of the movie, and I love the look of it and the feel of it, everything I love about it. The vibes that I got from it, I think, were due to some of the editing, where they'd have like shots that were just about things that are happening right at the moment, but didn't really have to do with the story at all. Like the guy eating lunch on a ping pong table, when Otis is just there by himself. The shot that they cut in later is him pushing away the knitting material, and then he talks about knitting later on. But the shot before that is just him eating. Didn't need to be there. Later on, he is looking at a ladybug, and it flies away, and the camera goes out of focus. It's like some of those things. I'm just like, these don't need to be here.
Yeah, I remember the ladybug one specifically. Yeah, stuck out to me. Also, I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Like, yeah, it felt like it, like you said, but the student film bit, it kind of felt like someone who had good shots that they wanted to put into the movie, but just there was no real reason for it. At least I didn't feel like there was a reason for it. That didn't take away from the movie, though. For me, I was just like, I loved all of it, basically.
I like the subject matter a lot. Like, I love the idea of this movie.
You would.
What's that supposed to mean, huh?
I really loved was it the opening scene where the father was like talking about the sound of pee from the kid?
Yeah. That was great. Yeah.
Great.
That was great. That made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah. They really hit home on his character.
Yeah. You could sense Shia LaBeouf's deep investment into that character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like he was very true to, I mean, you could tell he was channeling something real.
Definitely. Yeah. No, that was a complex and deep character there.
Did you watch the closing credits and see all the photos of his actual dad?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
The only thing that was weird to me was the very end, with it ending with him saying, "I'm going to make a movie about you." And I'm like, whoa, this whole got all kinds
of extremely meta.
Extreme meta. We're going to see him start making this movie.
Turns into Synecdoche.
Dude, yeah, this I was reading that this movie he started writing it very shortly after the rehab depicted in the movie actually happened.
Well, that scene where the therapist was making him write.
Yeah. Was the beginning of this
That's movie, actually that led to him writing this script.
Yeah. It's like crazy. He made it because I was reading, he was in this rehab program, and it was in 2017, 2018.
Wow.
And the movie's 2019.
That's crazy, dude.
That is crazy. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It reminds me of a movie called Mud. Either of you seen that?
I've seen Mud. Yeah.
It reminds me of that
awesome.
movie tone-wise.
Yeah.
Tone.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Mud more.
Not entirely more. You like Mud more? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Mud had a lesser story going on. Mud was more of an experiential piece, I guess.
I mean, you don't have to have a good story to have a good movie. Am I right, Taylor?
Yeah.
You don't have to have a story to let
have
Taylor
a good
like
movie.
Same here. I'm noticing that I am letting the context of the making of a movie influence my interpretation of the movie a lot more lately.
I feel like that's happened since we met.
It's like a big
you gravitate towards that a lot.
I really do, yeah. And this one in particular was like the whole time I couldn't separate myself from the fact that this was a filmmaker using film to tell the story of his journey into adulthood. You know, I couldn't separate myself from the voice of the filmmaker, and for me, that's actually what made it all gel nicely.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
For me, it's as with all movies, I'm so visually driven that if a movie is shot in a way that makes sense to me, then I'm totally in. And this one was, I think, really coherent with its cinematography. Nothing in this movie felt super experiential. Nothing felt super visually driven or very unique. The only thing that was really unique was the characters, I think. It felt like a very heavy character piece, but I think the color grading and the editing kind of brought me into it. Kind of like the visual style was just enough to make me go, okay, you know, I can get into this. It looked a little bit like a David Fincher movie, or like, you know, it had the lighting feel.
There were some pretty interesting lighting shots. Like there's one where they're like almost entirely backlit, and it's just like silhouette, but it's like a medium shot, and they're talking to each other, and the dad's like in total darkness, which I thought was really cool.
Well, what part?
I think it was in the bathroom when he's having his breakdown in the bathroom towards the end.
Oh yeah. I really like that kind of lighting. Yeah, that's really good.
That was really cool. I think I would have liked this movie a little more if it was just Shia LaBeouf as his dad and the kid, just that timeline.
Yeah, that whole Otis bit that they started with, I think was a bit weak.
Yeah, I'd agree that even though I think the guy that played like contemporary age Shia LaBeouf,
he did an awesome job.
He did very well.
Yeah.
I would agree that whenever we cut to his segments, the movie really lost momentum.
Yeah, it became a B plot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Who wants B plots?
Yeah, it's the father-son dynamic is what owned the movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
And that's the stuff that I liked.
And it's really what the movie was about.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, I thought it was weird that it was called Honey Boy, because it's not too much about. I mean, it is about the kid, but it's about the dynamic and the relationship between the two. But I think it's more about the father than it is about Otis.
I felt that way too.
It definitely is more about the father.
Yeah. So it's just weird that it's called Honey Boy.
Honey Boy.
That's a father-son dynamic I'd never seen explored in a movie before. You know, where he's basically like, I mean, we've seen deadbeat dads on the screen, but where he's basically like, I've chosen to let you be on my coattails here. Like I am your boss.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. That is
I really
crazy.
Like that. Yeah. That dynamic is really cool.
And it's really interesting. And I like the moment when he realizes, it's like, you're only here for the money. It's like, if I weren't paying you, would you be here?
And then the guy just cries.
Yeah. He's like, I wouldn't be here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is nuts. I really, this reminded me of a short that we covered in Short Film Roundup, Deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like the whole, I think a lesser movie, I think if Honey Boy was done by a lesser writer, that it probably would have been 2 hours of what could have been covered in 5 minutes, like Deadbeat did. But I think Honey Boy went so much further than that. I feel like the writing is just so good in here, and if it wasn't for the writing, it probably wouldn't, like, if it wasn't for the writing, it wouldn't be good. But I just mean, like, I don't know, it felt better than just.
Well, it is a really compelling story.
Yeah.
It is such an interesting dynamic. You know?
I wonder if it's because there's no cliches in here, because it is an experience. You know, it's the experience that he had as a kid.
Yeah, it was very not cliche.
Yeah.
You could definitely say that. I I loved seeing several moments of him on set where I could almost guess which Disney Channel shows they were suggesting.
Even Stevens.
Yeah. You know, like I remember him being in those kinds of roles, and no one on the other side of the screen would ever think that the kid you're watching on the Disney Channel is living in a cheap hotel with an abusive drug addict father.
Yeah.
And smokes cigarettes on his break and steals food from the craft table to take home. Like you would never assume that those two realities could coexist.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder how normal is that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just the normal thing.
That's normal.
Well, I'm sorry. Is there one or is there 100? There's no way of knowing.
Yeah, well, you never know what somebody's story is.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone can look completely put together and just not be at all.
That's funny, Kenny. That is more
and
of
even
the creator
kids
part.
aren't exempt.
Say again, D.
I was going to say the creator. That is more of the creator part, because what you're talking about is actual backstory, from the real world, not even written in the movie.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This was bigger than just what I was seeing on the screen.
Yeah,
that's what the whole marketing of this movie was about. The context of the movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any marketing for it.
I haven't actually. I only saw the.
I guess what I mean by marketing is like all the word of mouth stuff that I've heard, both from Kenny and just like online people. All the discussion is about the context of this movie more than the movie itself, even.
Yeah, I feel like that's always the case almost, unless it's like a crazy big movie like Gravity or Dune or something like that. Unless they're trying to do something different, the context in the movie almost always, I think, overshadows the movie itself almost all the time. I want to say. Or the idea of the movie. For example, when Prisoners came out by Denis, the movie itself, just the story that happened, is a really interesting story. But everyone talked about all the symbolism and how heavy Denis piles on the symbolism and how cool the symbolism is. And I'm just like, there's like master cinematography going on here, and the writing is infinitely complex, but nobody talks about that kind of stuff. And anyway, I just feel like it's just sensational. The sensational stuff just always bubbles up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, very nice.
You've been waiting for that.
Oh, I wish I could just move it up a little bit. Oh shit! Sorry. This isn't working out the way I hope it would. I'm sorry. That was Mutt Williams. If you couldn't tell.
Oh, gotcha.
From Indy 4.
Cute. Thanks.
I've been downloading. I have too many pictures now of Mutt Williams because none of them work.
So now you look like an obsessed Mutt Williams fan.
Yeah.
Let's see. We did Ghost Story last, but we had Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was before that. We should go on a little Shia tour. Shia
what
tour.
other Shia is there to see?
Well, there's
Eagle Eye. Let's watch Eagle Eye.
I remember being.
I saw Eagle Eye.
So did I.
For Eagle Eye, I saw Eagle Eye in the theater.
So did I.
Eagle Eye was terrible.
Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I didn't like it. I was like
trash, dude.
What's that Michael Bay behind it?
It feels like a Michael Bay film.
Something
he might have produced it. Actually, I remember this. It was a Steven Spielberg produced movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was big hype behind it. And LaBeouf was coming right off Transformers. So
he was hot commodity.
He was hot stuff.
Mm-hmm. We should watch Nymphomaniac 1 and 2.
I don't know if I can do it again.
I've never seen
Shia in more good written stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
he should write his own movies.
Yeah. Holes is an excellent
Holes is great.
movie.
Holes is good.
Yeah, I love that film. I'll feel bad whenever I watch it now because I know when the day ended and he went home from set what he was going back to.
Kenny's such a heavy empath.
Reverse contextualization.
It's too deep for me.
Yeah. I don't just watch a movie. I experience the whole world while watching the movie, and it's all part of one experience.
When Dune comes out, you're gonna be like, man, did you guys hear about all the production for this movie?
Yeah, it's all part of the story.
I guess it can be, yeah.
The storyteller is a part of the story.
I think this is a movie uniquely more than most.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
It's just who
I am. Just who I am. Man.
Who are you?
I am Kenny. That's what it says on the screen. Kenny Ballantyne.
Oh yeah,
Kenny Ballantyne.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I have such affinity for the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
I actually shifted from being a criticizer to a defender when I read the George Lucas biography.
Yeah.
That's what changed how I feel about those movies.
What I like, I kind of like the notion of it.
Star Wars Hour.
Oh yeah. Sure. Death of the author, that whole idea. I've always enjoyed the idea because it's something that people get on a general status.
Explain what that means.
Death of the author, when you separate the creator from the creation. So, for example, if you learned that someone who painted an amazing painting that changed your life at one point learned that he was a deadbeat and racist and that you're then go back to the painting and you don't like it anymore. But for that reason, people say to separate the two. And obviously, that comes with its own caveats. You can't always separate the two. And sometimes you choose to marry the two to bring you more stuff like Star Wars.
I'm life of the author.
Right.
That's my philosophy.
I like making films the way Death of the Author kind of presents itself, because I like to present things as if people don't know anything.
Right. And that's tapping into the synergy of our constant debate and divide is related to that very thing.
Yeah.
It's funny is I like Death of the Author.
The band?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're good.
Favorite band. I like the idea of separating the art from artist. But I also like context too. Like I love the prequel movies for the same reason you do, Kenny, for the most part. Like I do like the movies for the most part. The writing is kind of trash sometimes, but I like it. But the story of making them is what's really good. Or what's really compelling about them.
Right.
But you know, I also like the art itself to stand on top of that. Without that, like if you removed the story, is the movie still good? You know, I like that too.
Is it still interesting? Maybe?
I'd say yes. In an ideal world, that is exactly what I would want.
That's how I to be. Good. I am an idealist. All right, I am an idealist. When it comes to cinema, I am an idealist.
I want a movie to stand on its own, and if it happens to also have interesting context that makes it a more robust experience, then that's great.
Yeah.
And every movie has context of its own, you know.
True.
We can't escape culture context just by itself. I mean, that's one of the things that the reason why really bad movies in the US do really well in countries like China, because there's a contextual divide, or there's a contextual divide there in culture.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think to me, like if back to the painting idea, if there were like some painting that I thought like showed, you know, the essence of the beauty and humanity, and it just like inspired me, and then later I found out it was painted by Hitler, and his motivation was to divide and not unite. It would actually make my interpretation of it more significant.
Yeah. I think opposites would.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But say like, this is a funny example, but like that happens to me all the time with rap music. Is I listen to some lyric that I think is
but rap isn't art though, so I don't know.
True.
So if I listen to a lyric that I think is really deep and then I go into their other songs and I find out, oh, oh, never mind, they're actually just approaching it from a surface level thing. This isn't deep at all.
Yeah.
Like that gets to me, and that makes me feel like what I read.
Sure. Or like
even
when you
though I got something from
see like accidental brilliance, right? When
Yes.
you see something that looks like, you're like, that was so smart, and then you come to find out that they didn't even care about what the value you're getting.
And I'm starting to find out, that's one thing that I'm coming to find out, that as we review a lot more movies and talking about expressionism versus design all the time, is that it seems like the most brilliance that I come to and see are the stuff that is just expressionism, and it's almost always by accident, like 80% or 85% accident, and it's or maybe not even accident, but just not intended, and I think this is where me and Taylor talk about all the time, is that intention versus non-intention thing, where you can come off as really, really moving and really interesting without having to intend it. I just like the intention behind it.
Yeah, but that, you're getting in dangerous territory. That's really difficult to define.
About intent? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I definitely think so. Yeah, it's really hard. Really hard to find out the divide there.
Yeah. And people are always gonna come to all kinds of different interpretations of
all the time,
everything, no matter what.
Which I hate.
Jeez.
I hate people. I hate opinions.
Oh my gosh.
I hate that.
Jeez.
I really do. You know how people are all different and unique and have different thoughts and different interpretations of things?
It's a bad thing.
I hate that.
I hate that. Wish every movie that came out was the exact same.
That's what's ugly about the world.
I like the idea that, like, I could make a movie and somebody watches my movie and sees something in it that I did not intend at all, and they take that and maybe are then inspired to go do something else with their, like, technically false interpretation, but then in turn they put that into, like, their own work, and then it becomes real.
Yeah, and they're like calling it the Taylor method.
Yeah, it's all about.
On the opposite of that,
we have to restart. In 10 minutes.
On the opposite of that, you have people that may see your work and then think that it's actually the complete wrong way to do work, and then they go out of their way to say why it's the bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool too.
It's just,
I made a film that had like some symbolic imagery where I was basically, the message I was trying to say was, let's all try to understand one another and get along. And people in one particular audience that I screened it to, what they took away was, oh, you want to take away my rights and my guns. That was how they interpreted my message of, hey, let's all get along.
Right.
And people, and there were people who were pissed and got like mean in the Q&A session. And I'm like,
I could totally see someone abandoning just the idea of design completely, because they're just like, there's too many factors at stake, right? There's the audience. There's
that guy.
Sir. I did that.
Too many factors at stake. Too many things that could potentially, divide the notion of what I'm trying to communicate. So design's just off the table. I could totally see that happening, but I like to go the opposite way, where I'm just like, I want to limit the factors as much as possible. So I want to take everything into consideration and then design for it all. In an ideal world, obviously you can't do that.
Well, they're both, those are two kinds of creative challenges. And I think both of those creative challenges are fun.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely.
I like doing both. Pre-production on 5th and Main was like such an invigorating creative challenge.
Yeah.
Trying to design an experience collaboratively.
Yeah.
That was
with an
really
audience
awesome.
in mind.
Right.
Yeah. And trying to marry the two, thought processes of expressionism and design is it's an interesting challenge, I would say.
It is a challenge. Square peg round hole sort of thing.
It is.
You just make it happen anyway.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas right now I'm producing a doc that is just for me. It's like it's just a selfish endeavor to keep me occupied here, that people will either watch someday or won't. But it's literally just what I want to see on the screen without any other considerations. And that's very freeing and fun as well.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
So what was Honey Boy?
I think Honey Boy was selfish.
Yeah, I think that was Demons.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of movie. Just this content it's almost tailored for that kind of to be that.
Also, the movie doesn't give a lot of context to the situation itself within the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It kind of has an expectation that the context going in.
I want to say you always hear about master artists. You don't ever hear about master designers. You know, I think the reason why is because people can really connect and really see and feel the individual behind an expressionism work, but you can't do that behind a design piece of work. A design piece of work is meant for the audience, not from the creator.
Right.
So, designers
aren't going to get glorified.
right. And that's actually kind of where I came from film school anyway. That's one of the things is if you're doing your job correctly, then nobody will notice. And it's funny because I think it perfectly works on one side and perfectly doesn't work on the other side. If you do your job really well as an artist, people will notice, but as a designer, they won't. So it's just opposite ends there.
What kind of pizza is Honey Boy?
Do we have to do it in 5.5 minutes or no?
We have to do it in 5.5 minutes.
We could try. I mean, as soon as the call ends, we'll just restart it.
See, if someone sees this clip, though, Taylor, they're going to think that's the pizza that you chose.
Ooh, maybe it is.
Oh, maybe it is. Okay.
Actually, you know what?
Oh, don't say that looks gross.
Might be.
That looks okay.
That cheese is a little too yellow.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that sauce on the crust up there. It looks good.
Is it though?
Right here.
Please stop touching that. That's not hygienic.
Sorry.
Who goes first? I can't go first.
Who goes first? No, who's
Kenny
on
goes
second?
First.
Kenny goes first.
Fine. Okay. Haha. This is stupid. This pizza. This was a. So like everyone in your neighborhood starts talking about this new pizza place, right? And they're all telling you stories and experiences that they had there, so that by the time you go to it, you already are filled up with lore about this. Like you already feel like it's your family, right? And they give you the pizza, and it might just be a run-of-the-mill normal pizza, but it's made a little bit more special by the fact that so many people have talked about its legend. There's a place in San Francisco that actually is kind of like that. It's like a famous pizza place, and I went there.
I don't want to color my judgment.
Too bad. I don't remember his name, but I remember going there with my brother and being like, this place is a famous pizza place. Everyone talks about it. And then the pizza was like, well, it's just normal pizza, but this is cool. Now we can say we went to this place. Let's take our picture and stuff,
I've got the perfect
there you go.
Complimentary pizza.
Okay.
Pizza My Heart is a place that is awesome over
Santa Cruz. Yep.
And
sell a lot of shirts.
That's my pizza here. The Big Sur pizza.
That's the same kind of thing. That's the same kind of thing. It's like the fact that it exists and has a cool name and is in a TV show and has T-shirts is more important than how good the pizza is.
So for me, someone had told me about it and they said it was really good. I didn't find out about its namesake until after I had the pizza, which was already really awesome. So that's this movie.
Shia LaBeouf was considered for a role in Pizza My Heart.
He was going to play
that's
the
too
pizza.
meta.
Honey Boy is a
honey pizza.
Oh, Honey Boy is a pretty good cheese pizza with the red pepper flakes on it.
Good. That's actually really
I was
spot
going
on.
to say those are actually high marks for Taylor.
Pretty good.
It remained an edible pizza.
Know that there aren't pepperonis.
Yes,
So it would be much better with pepperonis.
See, but it's much better with pepperonis.
Much better with pepperonis.
Oh,
yeah, there's no pepperonis, and it's just a pretty good cheese pizza.
Well, guys, I wanted to end this episode by telling you that I'm going to make a film review show about this show.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you're going to review each episode?
Tell us more about it before you make it. And then when we watch it, then we'll have all that context.
I'm actually going to make a movie about me making it.
Oh, wow. Can I play me?
Nope. You have to play.
Can I play D?
You're going to play my dad.
Pizza.
Pizza. There's 3 of us are doing impressions of my dad. That's interesting. Watch Honey Boy next Father's Day.
Yeah, it's a good Father's Day movie.
Yeah, jeez. It was a very sad movie.
Sad. It will inspire you to be a good father.
I suppose so. Yeah, in a strange
No,
way.
it'll just make you feel better about how you're doing now.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I'm doing all right.
I'm not too bad.
I'm good. I'm a good dad.
We have less than 1 minute.
Oof. But how much less?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
Well, say your goodbyes.
Goodbye.
Well, the backup will be gone, but we're still recording over here.
Goodbye, world.
This is Movies Over Coffee.
This is the Kenny D and Taylor with the Talkies. And thank you. Good night.
In less than 1 minute for a while now.
Good night and good luck.
It's a long minute.
It's a long minute.
Extra long minute.
Stretching that minute.
They threw a few extra seconds onto it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I thought it cut off. Oh my god, this is
I can hear you squeak.